Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
Bow, boy, where you been? It's TeeJay, the artist. You rockin' with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video, man. And in this one, we got Jimmy High Roller. Shout out to Jimmy High Roller. He's already the best player in the world. We're about to find that out. We already know who he talking about. He talking about Wemby. Wemby and them boys is in the finals. This is his first. Is this his first playoffs? And he went straight to the finals in his first playoff? Is this Wemby's first playoffs? I feel like, wait a minute. Let's find this out right now. Wemby's first career NBA playoffs run and he made it to the finals. Oh my goodness, he finna go to the moon, ain't it? Wemby about to go to the moon, bruh. And it makes sense because he's an alien. Anyway, Jimmy High Roller. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get straight into it. What you got to say? Man, he killed Chet. Wait, Chet Holmgren looks ready for game 8. Every game in the NBA is between two frauds. I snuck into the NBA playoffs and played center. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Shea better than Steph? No, sir. I better stop that. Wemby already top 10 or something. Alright, see. This is why I hate early success from NBA players. Because nowadays it's like it's so easy for a statement like this because of anybody. Because people also were saying if Shea wins another one, then we 2 MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, and 2 championships. Oh, he got to move into the top 10. Like, people was doing that. They were comparing him to Jordan and Kobe. Like, it's like, bro, relax. Let his career play out. We already putting Wemby top 10. Like, relax. I saw somebody say that this is now the Wemby era. Don't he gotta win a championship first to get an era? Like, or an MVP? He don't have none of that. He got a defensive player of the year. But he don't got nothing. Like, we already doing that. Like, relax. Can we wait? Can we see him grow into that? Like, we just gonna put the tag on him? It seems like it's so easy for newer players to get like tags like that. But for my boy LeBron James, y'all still don't get that man respect. See the difference? This is crazy.
LeBron James all the way up to number 2 on your all-time list. I have him at 9.
You see what I'm talking about?
Look at me, I'm a Spurs.
You see what I'm talking about? Disrespectful.
LeBron James all the way up to number 2 on your all-time list. I have him at 9. Look at me, I'm a Spurs fan. My team is.
By the way, Skip Bayless said that in his intro back to First Take. This was, hey, I'm glad to have you back, and blah blah blah. And he was saying yes, I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad for this. And then he said this. This was in the intro. The question wasn't even there yet.
LeBron James all the way up to.
Look, welcome back to First Take, Skip Bayless. This the first thing he said.
Number 2 on your all-time list. I have him at 9. Look at me, I'm a Spurs fan. My team is perfectly run and well respected. My franchise player's a 9'7" French alien with high emotional intelligence.
The NBA Finals are here, which means we've got some hot takes to look at today. Playoff edition. The good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious.
Okay. Oh, hot take time. Jimmy High Roller.
Today's video is 6 years points. The right. New name your basketball. We are now down to just 2 teams. And while Knicks and
who y'all got, Knicks or Spurs? I got the Spurs in 7.
Spurs fans get to enjoy the.
But the Knicks is probably gonna be very, very. This is gonna be a good playoffs, and I hope the refs stay out of it, bro. Stay out of it. When y'all see Scott Foster, or if y'all see what's the other dude, Tony Brothers, if you see one of them, it's gonna be some BS in that game.
Exhilarating experience of watching their team fight for an.
Or the one that look like Gucci Mane. Well, no. Because Gucci Mane is a Thunder fan. So never mind.
NBA
Tony Brothers and that fool right there. There he go right there.
Title. The rest of us have been relegated to watch from the sidelines as we spew out hot takes about teams we couldn't beat. And today, we're going to take a look at some of these takes. Starting with this one that comes from a fan who asks, is Wemby the quickest someone has ever climbed to arguably number 1 in the league?
Is Wemby the number 1? First of all, is Wemby the number 1 player in the league? I do not have him number 1 in the player of the league today. No, I do not. Top 5? Yes. Number 1? No. I think the number 1 player in the league has to be Jokic. I'm sorry. It has to be Jokic. I know Jokic don't got no defense, but the way that he's able to get triple doubles and everything, bro, sorry. It is Jokic. Jokic, and then he don't even be caring half the time. He still be hooping. Like, he doesn't have the build of an NBA player. He doesn't have the athleticism, but he will fuck you up. That's what I know. That's what I know. So I have to say, Jokic, Luka, gotta give it to Shea. Probably put Wemby right there. I would say Giannis, but Giannis hasn't played. I can't say Giannis. And then I guess number 5 will have to be Give me Ant-Man.
Wemby's in year 3. Neither LeBron or MJ ascended to number 1 so quickly. And this is interesting because there's 2 parts to this take. The first part is that Wemby is arguably the best player in the world. And the second is that no one else has been the best player in the world by the end of their 3rd season. Both of those statements a bit subjective. I think it's definitely fair to say that Victor Wembanyama is arguably the best player in the world right now. If it's not him, then it's Jokic or Shea. And regardless of who you pick, there's no wrong answer. But the key word here is arguably. So
it's not really a hot take because they're just making an argument for it. Like you can argue Wemby number 1 because I can argue Tyrese Maxey number 1. You could just argue. You know what I'm saying? It don't got to be true, but I can argue it. Austin Reeves number 1. Let's argue. You know what I'm saying?
Any other player in NBA history climbed to be arguably the best player in the league by year 3? And the answer is yeah. Wilt Chamberlain won a league MVP as a rookie. By the end of Kareem's 3rd season, he led the league in scoring twice, had 2 MVPs, a finals MVP, and was definitively the best player in the NBA. Larry Bird was the runner-up in MVP voting in his 2nd and 3rd seasons in the league and was arguably the best player in the league. And of course, there's Michael Jordan, who despite not having the hardware as tangible proof, was generally regarded as one of, if not the best player in the world by the end of his 3rd season in '87. Now, looking into more recent NBA history, there's Shaquille O'Neal, who was arguably the best player in the league by '95, neck and neck with David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Although Shaq held the crown by 2000, in Tim Duncan's 3rd season, he was in conversations as the best player in the league after leading the Spurs to a championship in just his 2nd season. Another prodigy with an underrated early career is Kevin Durant, who was regarded as virtually the only player who could go toe-to-toe with a prime LeBron by his 3rd season in the league in 2010. He finished 2nd in MVP voting, and although he wasn't the best player in the world, he was next in line by his 3rd season. And then there's Derrick Rose, who wasn't regarded as the best player in the world by the end of year 3, but he did get an award, a small consolation prize for his efforts. And of course, there's year 3 LeBron, who ascended in the 2000s with a crowd of all-time greats. By the end of his 3rd season, there wasn't a definitive best player in the world. Between Dirk, Kobe, Nash, Duncan, the conversation was pretty open for interpretation. But there's no denying he was certainly in it, finishing 2nd in MVP voting in his 3rd season in the league. The moral of this story being that throughout modern NBA history, even amongst the greatest players of all time, there probably hasn't been a single player that was the consensus number 1 player in the world by the end of year 3. Wemby falls in the same category as LeBron and Shaq and Jordan and Bird, making a very strong case as arguably the best player in the league. I wouldn't say he's definitively the best player in the world, but I'd say being in the same sentence as those guys is a good consolation.
Yeah, it is. You can argue it. That's not really a hot take. It's like it's like you give and a take, but like you gave yourself like cushion. You got some insurance with this one.
Now this next take comes from a fan who says you could replace Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 30 different players and the Thunder still win the title.
You mean like current? No, hold on. So if SGA switched out with Luke, oh, I get what they're saying. They're saying that the team is better than other teams, so SGA doesn't necessarily have to play. He can be anybody. You switch out SGA with Luka, they win. You switch SGA out with Ant-Man, they win. Switch them out with I don't know, KD, they really win. Steph, yeah, I get it. I don't know if it's 30, but it is some.
This isn't
okay. This is not really a hot take though.
Evidence that SGA has the worst PR of any superstar of his era. I don't know what is. 30 players. You know what the Thunder's
30 players is crazy though.
Record is this season, including the playoffs with Shai, 65-13. You know their record without him? 8-6. 84% win percentage with Shai, 57% win percentage without him.
But I seen too many times where Shai goes to the bench and the bench go crazy by the time he get back in. Like I seen SGA, they be losing by like 11. SGA go sit down, the bench go crazy, and now they up by 10. I seen that too many times.
The Thunder's record over the last 3 seasons with Shai, 204-56. 78% win percentage. Their record without Shai, 15-12. A mediocre 56% win percentage without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over the last 3 seasons.
Okay.
For perspective, from 2016 through 2018, when the Warriors had the league in a chokehold, Golden State's record with Steph Curry was 215-44. Their record without him was 30-19. A gap that is identical to the Thunder with and without Shai.
That's why.
Because it turns out, not only do great...
That's why you can switch. You just kind of... I'm just saying, that means if you switch Steph and SGA, will he not do the same thing with the Thunder?
Successful players have great impact, but they usually have great teams built around their unique skill set and talent. Time and time again, we penalize players for being a part of a good team. Fans minimize Steph because of how good the Warriors were. They downplayed LeBron in Miami because of how good the Heat were. And you can't bring up Jordan without someone mentioning how great the team around him was.
Because every time we talk about Jordan, y'all make it seem like Jordan was the only player on the team. So it's like we gotta say it.
But all of the true all-time greats had great teams around them.
Exactly.
If social media existed in the 90s, all you would ever hear about is how stacked the Bulls are and the unfair advantage MJ has. Steph had the most lethal team in the history.
This team was cheating. This team was cheating. I remember those years, people were trying to fake as if somebody was going to beat them. I remember it. Man, oh my gosh. It was like, well, the Rockets, I think the Rockets will be able to beat them. I'm just sitting up like, we finna do this? We finna sit up here and fake like somebody can beat these fools with KD? We had to fake it for as long as they was there. We had to fake it like somebody else was going to win.
Of basketball behind him. Bird and Magic played with rotations filled exclusively with Hall of Famers. This is just the way it goes. And the irony of all of it.
There go your super teams. LA and the dang Celtics from them days. Super teams.
It is that in many cases, the perceived caliber of the team as a whole can often be the result of the guy leading the charge. Great players make their teammates. All of it is that in many cases, the perceived caliber of the team as a whole can often be the result of the guy leading the charge.
So he's shouting, I don't need it. What is he talking about? Fouls and free throws. But yet you were. That's another
charge. Hey. Great players make their teammates look better. You'll often hear the hypothetical of swapping player X with player Y and which team would perform better with their new star. For example, swap Jokic with SGA and the Thunder still win a championship, but the Nuggets would be in the play-in or something like that. But that's not how basketball works. Good teams are built with intention. They are built with specificity. Shai is a great player. So is Luka Doncic. But Shai cannot do what Luka does. And Luka can't do what Shai does. Same goes for Ant or Brunson. Great players, completely different skill sets. Great rosters are like a recipe. You need the right amount of the right ingredients to make it work. Change one ingredient and you risk screwing up the entire dish. In fact, we've already seen what happens when talent is viewed as some perfectly transferable property. In the super team era, where organizations had this exact...
I don't like you saying that. Super team era was never really a thing. I don't think it's a super team era. I feel like this was like super team, like, how do I put this? Like it was super team, like, dang, what word am I? Like a trial run. These are super team trials. That's what this is. Super
mentality. Teams were slapped together with no intention, no design, no cohesion, just stacking up as much talent as possible for the sake of it. And it almost never worked out. Regardless of what...
That was Dwight and Steve Nash on the Lakers.
What you think of Shai's game? He is a very unique and very crucial ingredient to a recipe that has been perfected over the last half decade. And there are not 30 players who could fill his shoes and lead OKC to a title. This take is absurd. Now, this next take comes from a fan who says there has never been a more difficult time to win an NBA championship than right now.
I agree with this. Just for the simple fact of, since Kawhi Leonard won a championship with Toronto, there has been a different NBA champion up until, and it will be another different one after this final series. Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult. I feel like previous years, because of I feel like there was so many teams that didn't care for the season, and like maybe 2 or 3 teams really care about the championship. Now they won't say it, but you can tell. Like there's only like 3 or 4 teams really built for the championship. Now there's way more teams built for the championship. Then you add health in. Then you add in the players that don't buy in, and then they get traded midway and things. Like, it's so many different factors. And then the talent pool of the NBA is so much larger than previous years. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's insane. If the Timberwolves was in the finals right now, nobody would question it. They were like, oh, they weren't supposed to be here. If the Nuggets was there, they weren't supposed to be here. There's just so many different teams that could be there. Like, yeah, it's difficult.
I completely agree. After the Warriors ran the table on the NBA last decade, the entire meta of professional basketball shifted. Teams have gotten smarter, they've gotten deeper, and although talent will always prevail, the path to winning a ring in today's NBA requires far more than just talent to get it done. This is now the 8th season in a row that a different team will be crowned champions, the longest stretch of unique championship teams in NBA history. In fact, there have been 14 unique teams in the finals over the last 8 years. That is half the NBA. We are now creeping up on...
That is insane. And y'all said Bron going all them times, that shit was easy. And get out my face. That was easy. Okay. That man made it on 2 different teams 8 straight times. Now people can't even make it 2 straight times. Like,
an entire era of absolute parity in the NBA. And this is in complete...
And I don't even count this one for real. This Warriors and Toronto one, because KD was hurt and then Clay got hurt in the midst of that. So it's like I don't I don't even count that one for real.
Opposition of what we saw in previous eras. Whether it was the Celtics and Lakers winning 8 of the 10 championships in the 80s, the Bulls going 6 for 10 in the 90s, the Spurs and Lakers combining for 7 rings in the 2000s, or the Warriors winning 4 in 8 seasons. Dynasties and perpetual winning have been a staple in the NBA for decades. But due to multiple factors, such as advanced analytics giving teams the insight to optimize their rosters and game plans, teams prioritizing depth more than ever before, the rise of rotation level players and their impact on a night-to-night basis, and the league itself enacting new rules to actively fight against teams building dynasty-worthy rosters. Not only is it more challenging to win a championship now than ever before, it's more equitable. No longer do you have to have the best player on the court to win a series. No longer can you pair up a couple of mega talents and run through a conference. The 10th man off the bench can be just as pivotal in today's game as your second option. The natural evolution of the game has slowly leveled the playing field for teams competing for a title, and this shrunken gap between top-end teams now leaves the margin for error small enough that truly anything can happen. We still see glimpses of all world caliber players willing their teams to victories, but those moments have now become a rarity. Before this era of parity, LeBron James was able to will his way to 8 straight finals appearances off of sheer ability and determination. This does not happen in today's NBA. A great bench is no longer a bonus, it is a necessity. A great coach is no longer an edge, it's a requirement. Right when you think one team has separated themselves from the pack as a
And I was wrong about this. I thought the Thunder was going to go back to back, and I was like, this is going to be the next dynasty because they're young. They got all these picks. And then next thing you know, I started watching them playoffs, and I'm like, this ain't the team that I was basically saying was going to be the next dynasty. And then here come the Spurs doing the same thing y'all did. Got the youth, got the picks, got the coach, and ran y'all up out of there.
A potential dynasty candidate, the league adjusts faster than it ever did before to counter their strengths. The basketball scale has and will always tilt in the favor of talent. One thing that remains true is that winning a championship means being in possession of one of, if not the best player in the world. But it's everything else. Depth, fit, cohesion, chemistry, schemes, rotations that has leveled the playing field and can now tilt the scale just as much.
Magic just made me mad again.
This is
my Orlando Magic. As you can see, they're my favorite team.
Everything else.
Y'all just
depth, fit, cohesion, chemistry, schemes, rotations that has leveled.
We had a 3-1 lead.
The playing field and can now tilt the scale just as much. This is a great take. And our last take comes from a fan who says the regular season has become all but irrelevant, and the playoffs are the only thing that actually matters, both in terms of discourse and legacy.
I hate that this is somewhat right. Regular season does matter because you need to be seeded properly, but now that there is play-in games, people kind of coast, try to get in that way. That kind of sucks. But now you can be 9th, 10th seed and get into the playoffs, and that's not how it should be. They need to take that out. They've been trying to force people to play more meaningful games throughout the regular season. That's why they put this in-season tournament in and all of that. But they need to take out the play-in. It's just a waste of time. Play-in is a waste of time. Has a 9th or 10th seed made it to like the playoffs or something? I don't even believe that has happened yet. So it's like, what's the point? Take that out. But anyway, yes. So this talk comes from how people like a James Harden, right? James Harden he used to cook you in regular season. Numbers out of this world. What happens when they start talking about him? Till he do it in the playoffs. I don't really care about none of that. That's what they do to people. So when you continue to put that into the viewers' heads, Don't nobody care about the regular season. Don't nobody care about that Tuesday night in October because you told us that this don't matter. Not everybody thinks like this. So what happens? The players is like, well, just waiting for the playoffs. Then they start sitting out. Now y'all got discourse about, oh, load management. That's a problem. People pay money to come see y'all. I don't know, nobody want to even play the regular season. Just start the season in the playoffs. That's how people be feeling. Or start it at the All-Star game. That's when people start playing for real. Like, that's what be happening. Like, yeah, so I hate that this is right.
And I could not agree more with this take. In the past, the playoffs were just a ramped up version of the regular season. Tougher defense, tendencies exaggerated, more intense matchups. The consequences of the playoffs were held to a similar regard. What a player did in the postseason mattered the most, but what they did in the regular season still mattered quite a bit. But now more than ever, the postseason has become completely disconnected from the regular season. The playoffs don't just feel more intense. At times, it actually feels like we're watching a completely different sport. And this is what happens when the regular season is comprised of some teams resting players, other teams using the regular season as one long testing ground in preparation for the playoffs, and the rest of the teams literally trying to lose as many games as possible. It has become evident that many organizations do not take the regular season seriously whatsoever. And in return, many fans are now choosing not to take it seriously either. You won the league's most prestigious award, the MVP. Well, why should I care? It doesn't even look like you do. You average 25 a night? Yeah, well, a quarter of the league isn't even trying to win games. If all you guys care about is the playoffs, then all we're going to care about is the playoffs.
See?
And now here we are, at the point where a 6-game series can hold more weight than an entire season of basketball. Legacies, reputations, the entire merit of a player's game are now decided strictly off of the playoffs. Tracy McGrady was a fantastic player, and to this day, he is rightfully remembered as such. Tracy McGrady never made it out of the first round.
Never.
These days, if you win an MVP, but you don't back it up as the best player throughout the entire playoffs, you are instantly a fraud. Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs and never made it to the finals. Dominique Wilkins is a legend, a staple of 80s basketball. He also never made it to the conference finals once in his entire career. Meanwhile, I just watched Jalen Duren wash away fan support 70 games of awesome basketball and a max contract in just 3 weeks of bad playoff basketball. I just watched arguably the most impactful regular season of all time get dismissed because of one bad round in the playoffs. I heard someone say Joel Embiid, former league MVP, 4th highest scoring average in NBA history, one of the most talented bigs of all time, is not a Hall of Famer because of his lack of playoff success. Do I think this new standard being imposed on players today is unfair? Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna win a championship. But do I also think the players and teams have done this to themselves? Yeah. The symptom of teams coasting their way through the regular season without any real sense of urgency is that we as fans now know the real test of a player's game. Actually, the only true test of their game and their abilities is in the playoffs, which inherently makes the regular season and everything that happens in it a lot less important, and everything that happens in the postseason, even if it's a 4-game sample size, the only thing that matters. And although I really wish this wasn't the current state of the league and its discourse, I agree with this take. But let me know what you think. Share your hot takes in the comments below. And as always, the hotter, the better.
Okay. Another banger. I'm sorry for yapping so much, but let me see. Let me see. Y'all remember when the media was putting women in conversations with Bobo and Chet Holmgren? Yes, I do. I was looking for a hot take. I'm looking for a hot take. You know what? Let me see if I can think of a hot take real quick. Hot take. Let's see, y'all. Little players are way better. Oh, look.